we discussing, there we go. Maybe did it start? Are we there? Says now it's being recorded. Um, so if you're just jumping in, we were discussing that today's hashtag is I choose. And yesterday we spoke into language patterns and how our language patterns are the signals that tell us and tell us where we are currently. And we also discussed how our words create the vibration, and they are the creators of our current reality. We recapped with Carrie spoke into compulsion and survival and how the patterns that you may have discovered yesterday, I can't, it's hard, I don't know. What else did we see, Carrie? I don't remember. I'm not smart enough.
I if only if they would.
And
So that if, with the compulsion, if they would do that, then I could do this. And if I have to and I can't and I should. The big I should.
And how these phrases are keeping us in the pattern of life is yet to be fun. And that we have all these obligations. And it's truly a pattern of survival that came from way, way far back when food and water were yet to be found. And we had to survive that, because if we didn't do the things that we knew to do, that we would cease to be. And if you can say, are these patterns, these words, continuing to serve you today? And if you take a moment and breathe, you may have heard no. And so what becomes available to us as we continue to play in consciousness, we are re-empowering in ourselves, others, our families, our worlds, our people, our jobs, everything, that we have choice. And we discussed yesterday that even the smallest choice is choice. And it can, I'm aware. So one of my patterns, I upgraded from want to require, which is an upgrade. And I find myself getting out of bed in the middle of the night and I require going to the bathroom. Well, how about I choose instead? Because that's still a requirement. And there's survival, or I have to, in there. And so, Carrie, do you have anything else to add about
what we identified yesterday is that there is no size difference in choice. So we believe that the big job or the home or buying something, stepping into something that, oh, that's so big, and that's completely different than I have to go to the store. And what we're remembering is that every time that we have a choice, the size is the same. The universal energy of our choice, the universe knows no size. They just hear the energetic movement of stepping into choice is the movement of your heart, and your heart doesn't know the difference between the two of them. So energetically, the moment you step into choice, if you do it with what we believe to be the little things, then it will affect the big things. And yet it is all the same. So people are, oh, it's just about the little things on my checklist. That doesn't really affect, my job, my marriage, my home, those are big things. When it comes to that, then I really step in. So what we're just remembering is that the size of choice, they're all the same because the energy is exactly the same. And that's what we stepped into yesterday. And so this morning, we're so excited because we have a special guest. Alicia Howery is here, and Alicia is here from Sacred Stays. And she has been in the system of pure speech and divine body language longer than Andrea and I have, for a long time. And she's had massive movements and stepped into her own retreats. And she's writing a book soon. So there's so much big and upcoming that we were like, this woman understands choice. Let's give her a call. So Alicia, why don't you go ahead and share a little bit about you, what you do, where you've been.
Awesome. Thank you both. I love you both so much and love what you're doing here. All right. Me. So yes, I found out how important my language was and that I had a choice about 6-7 years ago. I was just in a massive upheaval in my own life. I'm a 20+ year yoga teacher now at this point. And I say, thank God I had that in my life, because although I saw twinkles of the light, it didn't stay on for very long. And I remember going to this yoga conference, yoga retreat, and I was teaching 37 classes a week at that time. I was teaching in the public school system. I was teaching little ones, kinder, all the way up to 80-year-olds. And I was exhausted. I was in pain, and had been in pain for quite a while. In fact, just a few years into teaching yoga at 24, I had major back surgery, had a lumbar fusion, and that didn't fix my pain. In fact, it exacerbated it in places. And I was continuing to seek answers. I wanted to be healed. I wanted to feel better. And my life, very dark in a lot of places. And I certainly did not know consciously that I had a choice. And I very much played victim. And but when I woke up, oh my God, I have a choice. I remember one of my very first workshops, the title was Women Walking New, something like that. But the very first part of that course was waking up to your conscious choice. And just, it was such an epiphany for me, an aha. And I believe everything that I've built thus far is really waking up my choice. And Sacred Stays is one of them. It was Just Be before that, kind of had built a online Facebook community, and was really at that time just wanted to share the universe of information, of wisdom, of knowledge that was coming in. And I loved sharing all these golden nuggets via that group. I had a circle I called Sacred Circles in my garage studio in Houston, Texas. In fact, that is where my very first retreat was held, where I hosted it and had 7 beautiful people show up, and just miracles, transformation, and what I call information. Because when we are in formation, we can really be out in the universe, be out in our world, having, doing, and being that which we choose. So when we are informed, and I believe it's like the cells of our body really get in formation, and we are now organized versus in chaos and discord, out of harmony. And that's where my retreats began. Worked with people one-on-one, did some eye readings, did some coaching, those kinds of things. And then retreats got kind of shut down during COVID and the pandemic. And I had been hearing, from the universe, time to go online, time to go virtual. And I don't know about y'all, but I had definitely made up my own stories about the virtual realm, and whether or not it was the work we were doing was as effective in the virtual space as it was in a live space. And Connection Evolution, which has evolved a little bit in the name, but that was born through the pandemic, and lots of little different things virtually and live immersions and retreats. And we've played with all different a variety of things online in the virtual space. And I'm grateful to say that, yes, we can experience as much transformation, as much change in the virtual space as I've experienced in the live space. So thank y'all for having me. And I'm so excited to be here.
Awesome. So do you have an aha moment where you were in a situation and you were playing the whatever you have your story of where you were, and that the exact moment where you realize that you did have choice? Because what we have discussed what we discussed is that moment where we have an awareness, that holy instant, is where we have the ability to make a choice. And so can you share a story where
Mhm.
you were experiencing that your choices were limited,
Yeah.
or that you had no choice, and that you actually remembered you did have choice, and what that looked like for you?
Yes. So funny. I was going to share a different story, but this one just popped in my head with you asking the question. And yes, absolutely. In the beginning, my life as I knew it was crumbling, every bit of it. My job, my business that I had built, my marriage, really everything I knew about myself. Personally, I was in just a tearing down, a crumbling of what I knew. And I was in a position where I absolutely believed what had happened to me. What had happened, I was a victim of. What had happened that my former spouse and I had created was I was potentially looking at like him killing me was a possibility. Me losing my life by either him or somebody that he was associated with because of what he had gotten into, or going to prison. And I very much believed, this is what was going to happen. Those were my choices. I was very limited. And I remember the day, that I finally came to peace with that being an option, not being, okay, well, what if I go to prison? What is the worst thing that could happen? Coming to peace with that, realizing, okay, if God, the universe, my creator chooses for me to serve in a space, like called prison, I'm willing. And I also realized that I had another choice, that I could be forgiven. I could walk new. I could be purified. I could be set free. And that even though those seemed to be my only options for a good couple of years, whenever everything came a crumbling down. And then to wake up like, oh, wait, I actually could have another choice. And that was foreign. Like, if you would have asked me, again and again, no, there was no other choice. This is what is going to happen. It's devastating. My life is over. It's ended. And, there's a lot of drama and a lot of trauma. And I'm still here. I'm still here. I made it. And I truly believe it was in the moment of number one, accepting, like loving and accepting that was one option. And finding out I can also choose something that I could choose something different. Like, yes. And that really began my own journey of forgiveness. And I can say the key that had me keep choosing forgiveness again and again and again for what I finally realized, was a co-creation. As much as I wanted to blame, as much as I wanted to accuse and point fingers and play the victim, because I did feel very powerless because I had chosen to make myself powerless. I had chosen to play that role. So it was a new choice of choosing something more powerful than victim, choosing another route. And I really believe and love that story so much, of just a huge part of my own awakening and transformation.
And so one of the things that we often talk about in community when we're talking about choice, we talk about agreements. And one of the agreements that we often have is I choose to choose, and I really, really choose. Because what I'm aware of is we have choice and we make a choice, and then all this other stuff may come up for us that tries to take us off course of our choose. And so what in this case, which is an amazing story, and it's new for us to hear from you, which is so awesome. Thank you for being willing to jump in on that level. So in making the choice that you could create, what did you do to continue to choose and really choose and really, really choose? What works for you in
Alicia,
in your choice?
before you answer, we have been disconnected from Facebook, and I believe I can connect us really quickly.
Okay.
Just to go ahead, and I just want to make sure that we're. I can connect.
I didn't see the
Our
live.
power's breaking the internet. We are doing it like Melanie and Lair.
It only took 3 of us. Woohoo!
Share to your group.
Yeah, I didn't see it up there anymore, and I was wondering.
Yes, it's okay. We just recognize that it happens. And I know I have the recording to share, but I believe I can do it the other way, as you had stated. Let's see. This doesn't get us done.
Let me just
It may not. Subject does not have permission to create live video.
I'm gonna blow my nose.
okay.
Okay, blow your nose, girl. Get your creativity moving. Okay, so it's not recognizing. All right.
Can you, sometimes when I can't go live to Facebook, I go live to YouTube, and then I can share the video to my Facebook group?
Disconnected.
I'm like, okay, so this is going to the Embody page, and then I'll share it from there because it has a yes for the Embody page and not for the group. That's funny. And there we are.
Awesome. I'm gonna just. Okay, so we had a little glitch and got disconnected. And so just in case, so that we can create some overlap in case we miss something, what I asked Alicia was, we talk about choosing and really, really choosing. And so because often we're aware that things will come up to try to take us off course. Our ego steps in, we have fear. And how do you stay in your choice and choose and really, really choose?
That's a good one, because we can so often just get caught up in the language or the words, and especially when someone wakes up to this, oh, I have a choice. Oh, I no longer want or need because that equals lack, and the required and desire doesn't work. Oh, great. So I have this new mantra or this new vocab, I choose. And I've seen it myself included, and many people, when they wake up to this word choice, they just begin saying it, I choose my prosperity. I choose my healthy body. I choose my divine partner. I choose, and they don't really mean it. And it doesn't work, even though you're saying it. It's not just about saying it. It really is about having some power. And when I read the question last night briefly, I thought, what is it that has me really, really choose? And in those instances in life, and this is the topic I actually had thought about sharing, because what I chose was a healthy, harmonious, heavenly, like what all these words I would use, family. Well, I didn't have that before. I didn't know what that was. And I say, that's a glorious place for us to be. You don't know what it is. Good. And this is what I choose, though. So if I choose something that I have no idea, at least not my conscious mind, what it is, what is a healthy family? What is a harmonious family? Well, what I found, and like you said, Andrea, like the universe will come up against you, right? When you make this choice and say, are you sure? And we'll be up and like, okay, well, you're choosing this thing. You're choosing healthy family, harmonious family. Okay. And a lot of times we get the opposition of that. The things that have been in our field, the things that have been in our subconscious, we experience the opposition first a lot of times. And so my experience has been, well, when the opposition comes in, that's my opportunity to stay convicted in my choice. And if I'm really not convicted because I really don't mean it and I'm really not really choosing, then oftentimes we get stuck in what we don't want. Or we start experiencing more of the opposition of that. And that happened for me several times when I thought, my conscious mind thought that I had evolved, thought that I had transcended the old pattern, thought that what I was really choosing was healthy relationships. And there was still stuff for me to clean up. And that's when I love when opposition comes in, and I share with my clients, it's great. The opposition's here for you to find out if you really mean it, to find out if this is really what you choose. And then you'll get another opportunity to choose. Because if that relationship isn't a healthy one and you stay and play in it, what are you really choosing? Mm-hmm. You're choosing the opposite still. And it's okay. We're forgiven as many times as it takes. We get as many oopses as it takes. But that for me is, and we're given a moment by moment choice. Once you make that initial choice, like for me, healthy relationships, healthy family, harmonious home, it's a moment by moment choice now as I walk into my new state or my new self. And I will get given the opportunity to make another choice and to make another choice and to make another choice as I align with that choice that I have made. And that to me is the really choosing, because the easy way out is to go back into old patterns sometimes. It's like, oh no, this is so hard. Like I know how to play codependently. I'm well trained at that. That's what I know. And so when we get lazy and don't continue to make those choices, then we're saying to the universe, yeah, I said that thing I choose, but I really didn't mean it.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you a question, because I ended up in this not too long ago myself with this whole choose. And like you just said, the easy way. And what we've been doing is saying, I choose my ease, I choose my ease. So what I came into is how I had programmed the easy way. Mm-hmm. And where we're saying, and you said, and this one may be hard, and yet we're choosing the easy way. And so what I began to recognize myself was I had wrapped around that the new way is hard and the old way is easy. And the old way, what I found with the old way was, I said to Andrea, I heard myself say, oh, you're going to take the easy way. And everything in me felt that was not being aligned, that was completely disconnected for me to do that. And I said, no, that's not the easy way. That's just my little self believing that this is the easy way to just stay here. But yet everything in my body says, no, no, no. What you're doing is you are settling back into the old pattern to say, I'll just stay here because I know the old pattern. And it's just your small self and it's your old thought forms going, oh, let's just stay here and get cozy in the old space. Remember, this is easy. And I was like, no. I have a new definition of easy. And easy is embodying my change moment to moment and stepping into my new choice moment to moment, because we're the only ones that are believing the new way is hard.
Yeah.
And yet it's just past our known reality.
Exactly.
And sometimes we believe past our known reality is hard. And yet when we stay in choosing, like you said, you chose your harmonious family, yet there was nothing in your DNA that was yet to really experience that. Is that true?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so if there's nothing in you that's yet to experience that, then we're going, what is harmonious? What are we doing?
Yeah. Why'd you even put that, make that a choice? And I see it again and again too. And I express this with my clients, like you're believing that this is harder, but I promise you on the other side, the new self being born, the choice that you are making for harmony, for empowerment, for more love and for more joy and more ease and all that, that is easier. It is really easier. Right now, it feels excruciating as you're piercing the veil of the old self, because yes, the option, I like to say, it was an option for me to stay in discord in all of my relationships. Like I choose to know if there was really one, but that because I knew that my lineage knew that discord was a thing, conflict was a thing, that energy, we knew it so well. We made like you said, my little self made that seem easier, but oh, no way. Because on the other side, when you step through and you remember, oh my gosh, harmony is so much more life-giving and I have so much more energy. I'm way more clear. And there were moments at the end as, that illusion or that belief system is taking its final breaths, where the little self wants to convince that you can almost have it all. You can almost be all the way through that, but there is always going to be a little bit of discord in your life. There is always going to be a little bit of conflict, and you could, it's an option, agree with that or make another choice, to go beyond and go, because even at that point, like I was like, oh my God, I have more glorious relationships than I've ever had before. This is brilliant. I am surrounded by empowered, healthy, loving, caring people. But then there's still this one. And there's this one. And my great self had a different, mission for me, like all the way through. Keep on coming. There's more. Because even the settling, like, it's pretty good. Like I've got mostly harmony, mostly glorious, mostly healthy. This person will probably always be like that. And I'm here to say, keep going, keep coming, because the relationships that I gave up on, that would never be resolved, that would never be harmony in that one, those get to come with you too. And it is way easier on the other side, for sure.
Because I think most people that are listening would probably be like, oh, well, yeah, she was stepping out of an abusive relationship. That wouldn't have been easy to stay in. So wherever she went from that just had to be easy. I believe most people that hear that think, oh, yeah, that's like so completely logical. And yet I believe we like, I'm facing it again and again, where it's just a matter of staying where you are with the belief that you're comfortable wherever you are. If there's something in you that is recognizing I'm stuck or I'm uncomfortable or I desire something different, that's really all it takes. It doesn't have to be something where you have abuse. Oh yes, well, logically you would just jump out and that would be easier. But how many times do we also hear women say that it's easier to go back? It's easier to go back. It's easier to go back. And of course, again, we recognize that that's also this little self telling ourselves the story that it's easier to go back there. And yet in the moment of change, is that the easy choice?
Mhm. Yeah, and I get why women go back, and men too, men included. And but you also statistics show that even when a woman or man gets out of that relationship, 9 times out of 10 they go back. They're in a different type. Maybe it's changed just a little bit, but they go back to a different mask, a different face is what I say, but the same relationship, the same kind of pattern, the same types of abuse. Maybe it's shifted around a little bit. And there's a reason, for that, because that subconscious programming where the person, the victim, because they're playing the victim in that role, that doesn't believe they have another choice, and has also got a hookup. For me, it was love equals pain. Love equals hurt. Love hurts. And so to find love that looked different than that would not have been an option until I found out, oh, I have another choice. And also I wasn't aware that I had love hooked up that way. It made sense after I realized it, after I had that aha and I found it. And oh, wait, yeah, I do choose something different. Even though I haven't had this experience yet. And even for me on my journey, even if after I had the aha and the awakening, relationships that I came into for several years afterwards still had little hints of love equals hurt. I was awake to it. It was never, as bad. And that's where I'm at. We'll have to continue to make choice after choice after choice, especially when you've been stuck in a program, however many moons, however many light years, and that each choice, because the next relationship looked like cake compared to the one before that. Although it wasn't. I mean, other people, looking in would have been like, ooh, that's steak still. And they were. And I'm like, but this is so great compared to. And then it was, oh, but there's more. There's more. I get to make another choice for even more health, more harmony, and really keep walking the walk and making choice after choice. And then when it wasn't in like a direct partner, I started to, I've got some friends where this hate and this hurt is still showing up. I might not be partnering with it in an intimate relationship, but there's still some friends. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I continue to choose. And that's what I believe the really, really choosing looks like.
Yeah, because each way down you upgraded what harmony meant for you. Because first harmony just meant that you weren't probably having massive fighting all the time.
Yeah, getting run off.
And that's what we say when we go through the veil again and again and again and again, because each level gets more and more, and harmonious starts to look completely different. You're like, oh, well, now imagine it was just that you were just desiring no fighting, and then the next thing you know, oh, there's more. We get clarity on our definition of harmony and what we're truly asking for, which is why I believe what you're saying is choice again and again and again. And oh, I thought I was choosing, and clearly I did something, but now I really choose the real definition of harmonious.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that I believe that is, when we're talking about choice, is when we talk about stay or go, that there's so much fear because we have yet to discover what the other side looks like. And when you're talking about as we begin to define these pieces of what harmony is. And so when we're in relationship and choose, that's Yankee danky stanky, and we're choosing something else, there's so much fear because we don't know what peace looks like. We say, I choose peace.
Yeah. And then you're
We're
like, why do I get there and I don't like it? That's not really what I want because I've known all this.
And just because we're choosing, we're required to believe in, be alive in the new choice. And what we still have running is love is horrible, which is what we have innately in us. It runs in our tapes, it runs in our subconscious mind, which you talked about, how we have love wired. For me, it's been pain and even death.
Mm-hmm.
And what I found was my love is painful.
Mm-hmm.
Even digging, drilling in. And so we have been believing in pain. We have been believing in apathy or lack of passion. We have been believing in tired. We've been believing in have to. We've been believing in compulsion. We've been believing in survival. And so the choice becomes, do we stay here or do we choose to believe in something completely new and different? And you may find yourself going, because if somebody asks you, what does peace look like? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I just know how it feels. What does love look like? Oh, I don't know. It's I can tell you what love is not.
Yeah.
Not hurtful. It's not this. It's not that. They show up. They're on time. They bring me flowers. I get candy. And so we have yet to, our parents didn't know, our grandparents didn't know. We are teaching ourselves what love, relationship, peace, harmony, joy, passion, enthusiasm looks like through our choices. And I loved that you touched on my next relationship was way better and yet still not exactly where I desired to be. And then the next one was even better and still yet. And so is there something in particular that you do for yourself when you have a new choice and yet you don't know what it looks like? How do you play with that to give yourself the creation of ease in your new choices?
Well, one of our favorite mantras, I don't know about yours, but mine is I choose to make this fun and easy, whatever it is. And thank you, Robert Tennyson Stevens, for that one. And what I've woke up to that is it doesn't mean it's always going to be fun and easy. It means that this is a storm you're walking through because as the old self is dying and the new self is being born, it's like a tornado. I mean, everything is shifting. The molecules are literally moving and shifting into a new form. And that choosing to make it fun and easy, really, like whatever is happening, whatever it looks like, however seemingly bad, and I'm going to put that in quotations because we get there is no good or bad, but if to our ego it seems bad, that choice of making it fun and easy, whatever you're walking through, has been a lifesaver for me. And there's been all kinds of moments, moments of walking back through my pain, my literal back pain, that experience that I went through for 6 days, in an immersion, and like what I believed, what my conscious mind believed, the level of pain that I was healing through, my healing crisis. If we're in a lot of pain, you're likely in a healing crisis. Give yourself permission to feel it, choose to make it fun and easy. On the other side, it's glorious. But like we've been saying, the ego or the little self is like, what are you doing, Alicia? What are you doing? This is a lot of pain. Let's get rid of it. Let's take something for this. We're not taught, at least until we are, how to choose this fun and easy way through all of life's tribulations and life experiences and opportunities to grow. We're not taught that from a young age. We're really taught the opposite. So it's a relearning, a remembering, choosing to make it fun and easy, whatever it is that's coming up, that you're moving through. And I loved what Melanie Ann Layer said about pain last week. And in my own experience, it's so true that it is one of the highest levels of consciousness to stay with your pain and to choose fun and ease through that. So did that kind of answer? I know I went a couple of different directions, but
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
And I love
I
choosing.
have another question for you. Is what I'm remembering is like when you said harmonious, like that's what. So when Andrea said peace, because often when my clients say I choose peace, I go, well, what is that? Because it like the word floats in the air. I'm like, what does that mean? I'm like, because angelic forces require much more detail. The
Yes.
universe is asking for much more specificity in order to make this happen for you, because one person's definition of peace is not another person's definition of peace, and your definition of peace on Monday can be completely different on Friday. So we're recognizing the different energy of that. So what did you do to define the detail of harmonious? Because that's a big word.
it is. And first my word was peace. So, and I get that too. My clients too. I just want peace, and I'm like, yeah, I remember wanting that too. And now like I say, I'm like, get specific, because I declare peace could give Andrea peace, could give China peace. I mean, like whatever it is, so it's peace. What is that? Yeah. A piece of me. I mean, really, what's the word? So that evolved from me wanting peace into, oh, wait, harmony. Ooh, harmony. I like that, because that's the opposite of discord. That's the opposite of conflict. Like, oh yeah, I've never known what that is. And it was an evolution, because like, the harmony and the peace that I wanted in 2014 became very different to the harmony and peace that I choose now. I mean, it's night and day, because I absolutely did not have a clue that what I have now was available then. And it has been an evolution. And for me, it's been, oh man, well, I use the word heaven. So whatever, whatever people can relate to, I'm like, what is heaven like? Like, it would be harmonious. And if I was experiencing heaven, what would I be experiencing? Would this be happening? Like, would this be harmony in a heavenly realm, or in the healthy? Another word we can look at, just healthy. Is this healthy? Well, no, this passive aggressiveness that's still happening in this friendship. I'll just keep it basic. This isn't healthy. This isn't feeding me. This isn't giving me life. And that's really what it has become now, beyond even healthy and beyond harmony. Is this giving me life, or is this taking my life? Which one is it? Is this giving, or is this decaying, causing death? And it's that moment by moment choice for me now. Is this relationship? Is this interaction? Is this raising me and giving me life, or is it discord? Yeah.
Awesome. I love is it feeding or decaying? And it's easy to answer that. And so then we can say next, so what is my choice now?
Mm-hmm.
And whatever the choice is, the choice, and it's okay. And one of the things that I'm reminded of too is when we make we make choices based on past experiences, what we know.
Mm-hmm.
And we have the part of our brain that holds all of our experiences and makes us like or dislike things. And so when we desire to do something different, we have we talk about infinite choices, and people always say, I never had a choice. That was my only choice. I had two choices. And what is available is that even if in the moment you are sitting on the couch watching TV, eating a bowl of cereal, you can stay there. You can turn off the TV. You can change the channel. You can go get another bowl. You can walk out the door. You can go get in your car. You can drive somewhere. You could go to the airport. You could go on a trip. You could walk across the street. You could go take all the eggs out of your refrigerator and do all these other things. Those are the infinite number of choices that you have. But because of our experiences, we begin to limit them.
Yeah.
My scenario is I love to drive fast, and I'm unwilling. I'm a no for tickets. So I drive reasonably within the speed limit. I play with it. So we do have choices. And what happens in the brain is when we take all the experiences that we had a no for. So those all choices just dissipate. And then there's the things that we had that we tried before that didn't work. So those go away. And our choices become smaller and smaller till we land in what seems doable and possible. And even sometimes we don't know yet what our choice is. And so my go-to is God in me knows there is a choice for me. I remember my choices. And once we make a choice, my favorite thing to liken it to is Harry Potter and the staircases when they're going to the rooms, is every time we make a choice, something shifts. And so we're going up the stairs and I choose here, and it shifts and it goes this way. And one of the things we say is that every time you make a choice, you create a new universe.
Yep.
And when we choose something, we create change. And who loves change? We hate it. We have been afraid of change. And the changes are happening because of our choices. And there's a song that I listen to a lot of Christian music. And one of the lines is, is your life falling apart, or is it actually coming together? And so when we choose, and we really, really choose, all the other muckety muck is going to begin to shape shift.
Yep.
And it's going to get bigger and louder to say, is this what you really choose? And we say, yes, this is what I really choose. And so we ride this wave of what we're hating, we're against, life is happening to me. But what has really happened is you chose something different, or you're required to make a new choice in order to have what you really desire. And once we choose, the choice is effective or ineffective. There is no good or bad. There is no right or wrong.
Where'd she go? There is no right or wrong. She said, look at her. There is no right or wrong. And so I believe what Andrea was saying was that there is only effective and ineffective. And when we recognize that every choice offers us gold, and so we can make a choice, and then like you said, you can make another choice. Once you get there, you can make another choice. But the moment that we recognize that there's only effective and ineffective, we'll be able to see the gold. It's when we hold it into this is right or this is wrong, because wrong puts us in that contractive state of hunkering down. And then how do you see the beauty of that when you are hunkered down like as that? And so, oops, Andrea. She is reconnecting with effective and ineffective. That's what's happening right now. So that's awesome. So she has the link, and I imagine she'll hop back on. So right now, and yeah, that's what we're remembering, because the right or wrong will just hold us right in place.
Yeah, and the belief that you only get like one opportunity to make a choice. Like, I have to make the right choice. And I'm like, no, just make one. How will I know if it's the right one? You'll find out, and it's not the right one. And I love it's either effective or ineffective. And then the moment you find out that was ineffective, you get to make a different one.
And that's what makes it always the right choice, is because then there's always gold in it for you.
Yeah, always.
and nothing holds us in place but the belief that we could make a right or wrong. So when we jump in and we just make a choice, then we can make another choice, then we can make another choice, and we continue. And then we're expert choice choosers. We're expert choosers. And when you're an expert chooser, then you can just immediately jump in, and then you hear your heart faster, and you have an aligned choice faster and faster and faster and faster and faster. And there isn't, and all that controversy and contemplating that you've done in the past is becomes dissipated.
Mm-hmm.
We'll only do it if we jump in and give it to ourselves. Because if we hold back on any choice, then
we delay the change, the miracle, and all of it. And the miracle is in the seemingly getting it wrong. When people are like, it's a mess now, Alicia, like I made the wrong choice. No, you didn't. Your miracle's right here in the choice that you made, in the chaos. If it created chaos, if your choice created decay, your miracle's still there, because you now have the opportunity to make another one and to catapult you or be the catalyst for an even greater transition.
Yes. Okay. Well, thank you, Miss Alicia. I'm still waiting to see if imagining Andrea will hop back on in just a minute. Why don't you tell us a minute? Because I just think you've done I really appreciate it. I'm so thankful. Thank you for coming on and speaking into choice, because it's just so amazing to see how many choices that we have and how choosing is. And we're here for massive choice. So, and I'll share with you. So my name, Carrie, means free. And my middle name is Lou, which is light. And so I'm here to put light on free will, because my maiden name is Wilhelm, Will at the helm. And so I'm here for free will. I'm here to put light on free will, which free will is choice. So I'm here to put the light on choice. So I'm here for the expert choosing. So I choose and really, really choose. And that I give myself permission to choose, to really, really choose. And that's just such an amazing thing. So thank you for coming on and speaking into choice. And tell us the name. Okay, so Alicia has a group on Facebook. What is the name of your group on Facebook?
Yes, Connection Evolution is my free Facebook group, and where I do a lot of regular offerings and sharings and just doing things in lots of fun ways. And then we're working on amping back up our sacred stays, which is our retreats kind of section of our business. And the next one is coming up in November. So yeah, awesome. Connection Evolution is the best place to connect with me and kind of get involved, because I do believe it happens in community. The greatest choices and the greatest transformation and change happens in powerful communities. And
yes, and staying in again and again and again and again. I tell people my monthly payments to stay in community and stay in retreat and stay in call series, and I do those things for myself. I create them so that people can jump into things with me, but I also go to those things as well, especially with Faith at the farm. And my experiences, I tell people, for all the time that you've done a monthly membership to the gym, your monthly vitamins, your monthly that's my monthly payment. My monthly payment is staying in community, and again and again and again, coming back again and again and again, because we know that it requires support and surrounding yourself with community where there's continuous upgrades. And that's how you get to your next level of harmonious, is by surrounding yourself in supportive community that has the same belief structure that's allowing you to keep moving. So underneath of this, if you'll comment, and to remember, our hashtag today is I choose. And then underneath of this, then we'll also put Alicia down there so you can go find her on Facebook and follow Alicia and her Sacred Stays and see what else she has to share with you. And so thank you, Alicia, for joining me and Andrea today. While Andrea is, she is reconnecting right now with massive effectiveness.
What a beautiful way to start your Tuesday morning. Love seeing your faces. Thank you for having me. Yeah, let's stay connected. And I love you.
Awesome. And tomorrow we're going to be on with Amy Crone. And Amy is a children's author of a book called My Friend Angry. And so she has taken all of her conscious learning and all pure speech and body language and transformed it into children's books to allow children to help understand their feeling world. And so she's going to be out here tomorrow, and I'm so excited for her to be on here tomorrow as well. So
cool.
Everybody join us tomorrow at 9 o'clock, and tomorrow we will move completely smooth in as I revamp our link. So while today we were on Embody, tomorrow we'll be back on Embody Community again, and we have all of the video from all of these so everybody can share in all the gloriousness. Everything is always there, and we always get our information when we require it. Thanks, Alicia.
You're welcome.
Bye, everybody. Hi. Let's see.